Hello, good day. This is Jonrel
And Joni.
of JIP Migrate, welcoming you back again here in the JIP podcast, where we share educational materials about migration and the latest news. All right, so we're going to share to you the latest news because we have just had from our sources the newest in the migration topic. So apparently, the topic of migration has been a top, not the most top, but one of the top priorities of the EU Parliament. All right, we're going to be looking at the statistics later, and more specifically, the arguments brought forth by some of the countries and the people in the Parliament. All right, so we're going to be talking about that. It's a much larger topic, guys, but we're going to be taking a little bit out of that, and hopefully that will also shed some light to you on your decision on migration to Europe, because it's very important to know where you are sitting in the table, all right, in the migration topic. Is it really beneficial for either you or the European side? I mean, the EU politics side, or is it detrimental for either you or the citizens of the EU, these kind of things, all right? It's always good to know where your place is so that you will have a better, more educated, more informed decision on migration, all right? So, but anyway, we're going to be getting to that later after some small talk. Right now, today, what can we say? Well, everybody's happy outside. We were just walking the whole day outside and along the river with some friends from Germany, Deutsch people, and yeah, we've been having some good fun just walking around and seeing a lot of people actually, because right now it's much better weather. It's not cold anymore. What do you think?
Yeah, it's very good weather. We don't need our jackets anymore.
Yeah, we can probably throw it away. Throw it away. Or wash it and just use it again next winter.
Next winter.
By the way, those jackets are not expensive, huh?
No.
No, so we can actually throw it away. How much is yours?
Less than €1.
Less than, mine is too. It's like less than €1, and it got us through the winter. So we're kind of those guys, you know. We don't want to spend more than we should. If we see a jacket less than €1, it just needs a bit of wash. It's actually quite good. Nothing's wrong with it. How about yours?
It's good.
Yeah, nothing's broken or anything, is it?
No, it's not.
See, even the cheap stuff here are good, right? I can't remember anything like this in our country, Philippines. If you get it for cheap, it's probably broken or something, or if it's not broken, it's going to be sold for more expensive, isn't it?
Yes.
So that's how it is in our country, unfortunately. But at least we're now here, living our lives in Europe because we migrated. Because it's a big decision, but it was well worth it. Hopefully, it is to you too. It will be for you too. So yeah, we can help you with that. All right, so getting into the topic, before we get into the topic, let's watch a video from our sponsor.
You, an entrepreneur aiming to relocate to Europe and elevate your business to a global standard, JIP Migrate is your key to making it a reality. Our team of experts will empower both you and your business to flourish in Europe alongside your family and business partners. Solopreneurs are also welcomed. With JIP Migrate, you can establish your business in one of the world's most prosperous markets while enjoying residency in Europe for yourself, your family, and business associates. So want to migrate to Europe? Contact JIP Migrate. We enable possibilities for those who are ready to move.
And that was from our JIP Migrate team. And indeed, we enable possibilities for those who are ready to move. All right? Only those who are ready to move. Otherwise, well, you'll have to think about it first and hopefully get educated more before you make this very big decision. All right? So as Anjay had told you, We do help entrepreneurs. This is a message to all entrepreneurs there and solopreneurs. All right, it doesn't have to be a corporation. It can just be a solopreneur company. We don't have a problem with that. JIP Migrate can definitely help you migrate with your business, and that's what we do. Actually, the other day, I remember that we were talking. The whole team was talking to this entrepreneur. She is in the USA. I just forgot which state, but she wanted to put up an education consultancy company here in Europe, and she wants JIP Migrate to help her. Very good choice, isn't it?
Yes.
So yeah, she's already in the US, but she still wants to come to Europe, and she said to have a better life. Apparently, she sees Europe as a better life than what she already has in USA. She's been living there for, she said, how many years? 40 years, because she used to be in Germany. Before that, I think she grew up in Germany, and then kind of like high school, she moved to the US, and now honestly, she said she's sick of it already. Just to be blunt and honest, she said that those are her words, but now she wants to come back to Europe and put up her own small business education consultancy. So yeah, JP Migrate is very excited to help her with that. She actually has kids and a husband that she wants to bring along. No problem. JP Migrate will be helping all of them all the way. Actually, there's another one I just remembered from Texas. Yeah, from Texas. This guy wants to put up a McDonald's here in Europe. It's going to be a big thing. It's a franchise, right? McDonald's.
Yes.
It's a big investment, big real estate. What other things? Licenses, food licenses, But JIP Migrate will be there, to help him and his partners with all the legal stuff that he needs, and also his migration needs, relocation for his family, for his business partners, where they're going to be looking for real estate properties. They're looking at either France, Italy, or in Italy it's Rome, in France it's Paris, and then in Spain it's Madrid. So those big cities, he kind of likes the city. I was talking to him, and yeah, he said, "Oh, I should put a McDonald's and also put Airbnbs." He's really aiming it high, but I guess he has money anyway, so no problem for him. So these are the kind of clients that we help. All right, so you can't do it with just a non-expert company. You have to do it with an expert company like JIP Migrate. So we always recommend for you to work with reputable countries which would really hold your hand and knows all their stuff, because believe it or not, guys, you will really have to be careful. There are people out there who pretend to provide such services, and unfortunately, we actually found out that some of them don't even have their own residency.
Oh no.
Oh no. We found out they don't have papers, they don't have banks. I don't know what they're doing here. But it's actually very sad. I don't want to talk too much about that. We don't wish for anyone's demise, but just be careful, guys. Just be careful, all right? Always look at their background, if they're stable with their business, consistent. If they're not consistent with their business, maybe you should, go to someone more reputable, like JIP Migrate. All right, that's who you can trust. All right, so let's get into the topic. Joni will be reading some of the stuff that we've got from our sources. By the way, the team has been doing a good job putting all of this together. Not only this, but the marketing, the calls, the assistance. Kudos to them. And anyway, so yes, Joni will be reading to you some stuff.
Migration is clearly a hot topic in the EU at the moment. Migration skeptic parties are on the rise across Europe. And the latest Eurobarometer poll from late 2023 found that Europeans now think that migration is the most important issue facing the EU joint up with the war in Ukraine. For context, the fraction of Europeans citing migration as one of their key issues has risen from 13.3% last year to 28%
Wow.
today. And this is the first time that migration has been Europeans' top concern since 2019. The increased salience of migration has sparked a heated debate at both the national and EU levels about what the optimal migration policy would look like.
So there you go. As I told you, it's an ongoing debate now, and it's even a hotter, much hotter debate right now. As you can see, 13%
Yes.
to 28%. That's more than double the percentage. Okay, now a lot more people are considering to talk more about migration because it apparently has a lot more impact than they expected comparing to what they had last year. And just the latest news, we've been following news from our sources, and all over Europe there are more right-winged governments. Not all of them are actually migration skeptics, but a lot of them are rising up. These parties, government parties, would be a lot more skeptic with migrants. They would be a lot more conservative. They would prioritize citizens more. So that's why the European politic landscape would be changing from now on. We can see, having all the elections. We can get to that topic much deeper next time, but basically, to sum it up, there are more concerns about migration and if it really works. All right, so that's the main topic. Does migration really work? it is it beneficial? Is it detrimental? All right, we're going to be covering here some arguments brought forth by some countries on the table of the European Parliament to discuss. All right, and these are going to be very interesting to all of you. All right, again, the point of this is for you as a migrant or a future migrant to see where are you in the table, which side are you on the table. Are you in the beneficial side, or are you in the detrimental side or non-beneficial side, which would help you decide more on whether or not to move here in Europe. Because migration is, well, honestly speaking, it's not for everyone, is it?
No, I
Yeah,
think
yeah, because migration, well, we can say Europe is a very welcoming and open place. But of course, you'll have to consider some things, If it's beneficial, then yes, of course. But if it's not, if it's detrimental, then might not be applicable. All right, just telling
better
the
not
truth.
do it.
Better not do it, or otherwise it's gonna be a failure, isn't it? All right, so we're going to be discussing the arguments Joni we have prepared here. Has prepared here. Mm-hmm.
The economic argument proponents will argue that migration is an unsustainable stopgap for Europe's demographic crisis, and that even if migration is on average net positive in fiscal terms, some migration is nonetheless fiscally negative, and an optimal migration policy should select against this. A study published in the Netherlands late last year, for instance, found that only migrants on work visas and students from Europe, the US, Australia, Indonesia, and Japan were net fiscal contributors. It's also worth saying that even if migration doesn't significantly strain state finances, some data suggest that high levels of migration can suppress wages, although the impact is apparently pretty minimal, with a 2008 study finding that 1% rise in the share of immigrants reduces average wages in that sector by about 0.6%.
I see. All right. So, what does this all mean? All right. It basically is saying that it has an economical impact. In what way? Well, the other side of the coin, let's just see the positive first. All right. when you have migrants coming in, it's supposed to be helping the economy. Yes, that's the aim, that's the goal. You invite migrants in to offer their skills, their business ideas, their professions, all of these things, and be of good contribution to the country that they're moving into. All right. But apparently, in reality, the numbers would tell you that only, apparently from Netherlands, a Netherlands study, apparently from only countries like USA, Australia, what are those?
Indonesia,
Indonesia,
Japan.
Japan, and what else? That's it, right?
I think.
Yeah, those countries, only those working visa holders from those countries are the contributors. And if you're going to really think about it honestly, this basically just says that work visa holders or student visa holders in these cases as well, that are from other countries don't get to contribute as much. You know why, guys? This is because this is just practical. All right, we've been in this industry for years now, and we have found out really lots of things, like this. All right, there are skilled workers from countries from Asia, for example, and we can say this because we're from Asia, and so we know exactly how they talk, how they communicate. And we found out that when they come to Europe, right, they get visa, for example, from Hungary. Let's just say that, right? What would happen? What, you know what I'm going to say, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So they get a work visa from Hungary, start working in a shipyard, for example. What happens next, Joni?
Uh, their group will talk to each other, then they will decide together
Uh huh.
to jump off to another country.
Illegally, right?
Yes.
this this has been happening for years now, and if it happens for years, it has a very big economical impact. Actually, this has been we I remember 2 years ago, it was we were in Germany that time, and this group called me, all right, by phone, and they were distressed, they were having trouble, they were distressed, they were like kind of like begging, sir, please help us, we got caught by the police. Right. And these are skilled workers, and what happened, how can you help, these kind of things. And they said, oh, because we were talking, and I kind of checked their background. I asked them, okay, where did you come from? They said their country. And they said, okay, where did you first land, and where was your job contract? It was in Hungary. Right. And then they took the train all the way to the Netherlands, started working there illegally. No. They worked there illegally for, I think, if I remember correctly, it was 2.5 years. They had really good salary. They had a good, nice house there. They were sending money all the way to their home country. Yeah. And all of a sudden, the police came knocking to their door and arrested them. And then they were waiting for a court order to just, be deported. See, they've already invested 2.5 years. They've already had good money. They were enjoying the time of their life, working as a skilled worker in the Netherlands. Then all of a sudden, things, are gone, vanished. They lost it just because they didn't start correctly, right?
Yeah.
I mean, no, actually, I'm wrong. They did start correctly, and they had to decide to
To do
do illegally
illegally.
afterwards. See, you'll have to be, that's why you'll have to know which side are you in. Are you a benefit or a detriment to the economy? Because if you do these kind of illegal things, the government would be very sensitive about having work permits and everything, because they want to monitor where are these workers coming from, where are they contributing. Otherwise, it's going to be problems. This is exactly what this Netherlands study is talking about. Only the workers from USA, Australia, Japan, Indonesia shows a good statistics. these people are contributing. They're doing it legally. They're not tricking the government, right? Coming into probably an easier country and then moving to a bigger country like Germany or Switzerland illegally. They get caught. So it has an economical impact. So it's very sad that people had to think this way, but they talk this way to each other. That, as Joni had said, they think of this together, right?
Yes.
It is a group, right? Actually, this example. It's not the only one. We've had so many people to call us, right? Remember, there were people also from like where Croatia wanted to go to Spain. Then we advise, hey, don't do that. Don't do that. You'll get caught. You know what he did? He did it. They did it. They rode the train all the way to Barcelona, and now they don't have papers. They're forced to go get into jobs that they're not really good at, like lesser jobs, lesser pay, lesser salary. It's a tougher life for them. So people who are listening to this, we want to educate. We want to educate. Don't choose that kind of life. Right? You're already here in Europe. Why not enjoy it properly? There are good ways to enjoy Europe properly. There is safety here, there is wealth here, there are opportunities. You just have to do it properly. All right? I'm not saying just, be stuck in where you are, but you have to be a bit more smart when you move, right? Don't just do it illegally. All right? Always get an educated advice, make sure that you balance out the risks. Is it really worth it? Actually, doing it illegally is never worth it, right?
Of course not.
Never worth it. I can just now talking about it, I can remember a lot more examples in Switzerland, remember? And then they came in, then they came in illegally, then had to do, jobs that aren't really good for them. Now they're there for like how many years? 11 years, 12 years. They still don't have papers, and it's just sad. They have families in their home countries. They can't see them, right? They can't even come outside the country. It's the wrong way to live here in Europe, all right? Which is why JIP Migrate is doing this kind of podcast, hopefully to educate people and to tell you that there is a better way. There
The
is a
legal
wrong,
way.
the legal way, the proper way, the best way. There are lots of avenues that we can help with. All right? Don't just take advice from people who don't know what they're doing. That's why we recommend don't go to those people. They might offer you services for this kind of thing, but just be careful. All right, so that's economical side. Let's go into what's the next one? Moral. Yeah.
Moral.
All right.
Second, the moral argument. While very few people dispute that developed countries should take in at least some refugees, proponents of restrictive immigration policies argue that it would be more ethical and perhaps sustainable to support and invest in developing countries to address the causes of mass migration. This was the thinking behind Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni announcement of 5.5 billion euro in development loans and grants for Africa last month, which she apparently hopes will reduce migrant flows across the Mediterranean. Third, the political argument essentially.
Not yet. Not yet.
Okay.
All right. So
Sorry.
yes. All right. So yeah, there's a moral argument to it as well. In like first sight, you would think, okay, these wealthy countries in Europe should be taking in some, especially refugees. We were just talking to a refugee today. Remember, right? And yeah, it's a terrible situation. Sometimes they have a really bad situation in their country or wherever they come from. It's good to move here in Europe and just start over, have a better life. So that's the moral kind of goal for migration. Now this is like proponents like Giorgia Meloni, current Prime Minister of Italy, very controversial, she has been against that actually because apparently from her side in Italy, it's usually the entrance door to illegal migrants. Actually, last month, or well, we were in we were in Singapore that time. We talked to this guy. He came in from North Africa, went by boat. That's what he said, right? Went by boat to Italy,
Italy.
entered illegally. Actually, spent some years there. He got caught as well, but I think he got pardoned or something. Now he's in West Europe, and yeah, he's trying to fix his papers. We're actually helping him with that as well. So at least he has, some sense also to get help from experts to fix his papers, because otherwise he's gonna be kicked out as well once the police catches up to him,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, my point is, Italy has always been they're kind of like the first first country to move to, coming from countries like North Africa, or Middle East, because across the Mediterranean Sea, guess what's the first country? Italy, right?
Yes.
So that's where they come in usually. So the prime minister right now, Giorgio Meloni of Italy, is having lots of negative opinions regarding the moral argument for migration. She would say, she would probably say no to most of the migration policies EU has been bringing forth. All right, because her country is basically receiving all the illegal migrants, most of it, at least. So there are those cases, and I think this has been a very big topic now, especially a lot of governments now in the elections are winning, mostly from the right wing. Like Giorgia Maloney, right wing meaning conservatives. Yeah, conservatives, they want to protect citizens more, and they don't really want to prioritize migrants, these kind of things. So a lot of the countries in Europe are having more and more right-wing governments, actually, and even Germany has a potential right-wing government coming up for this election. The AfD, Alternative für Deutschland. So yeah, that has been a big topic. We can get into that next time as well, because politics really has a big role in migration. All right. So yeah, talking about politics.
Yes. Third, the political argument essentially, while liberal migration policies can be a conduit for soft power, they can also be exploited by bad actors. This is what happened in 2010 when Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi threatened to flood Europe with migrants unless it sent Libya at least 5 billion euro and
A ransom, huh? Okay.
and more recently with Russia and Belarus, who've both tried to weaponize migration by deliberately sending asylum seekers into Finland and Poland, respectively.
Yes. All right. So this is one big problem. A really really big argument against the political side of migration. All right. People or governments from outside Europe can exploit this opportunity. All right, just think about this. If Europe would be very open to migration, then it also brings an opportunity for these kind of characters like Gaddafi, we know, terrorist, right? Gaddafi, and recently the Belarusian president Lukashenko, right? Longest serving, no, not serving, actually longest ruling dictator now in Europe.
Yes.
The last dictatorship in Europe. Okay, so these people can exploit the policies and just make it into a migration warfare. All right, they damage Europe by flooding or threatening to flood migrants into Europe. All right, threatening to flood illegal migrants into Europe. All right, that's what happened in 2010. In where was that, Gaddafi?
It was 2010.
Yeah, 2010. When was that? 2010. All right. And right now, actually, today we were talking to our German friend about this issue of illegal immigrants from Belarus going inside Finland and Poland as well, right? Because since the war, of course, Belarus would take Russian side. Definitely, they're helping the cause, and Belarus had been threatening, actually not only threat, they've been doing it,
It's really happening.
it's really happening. Our German friend is actually volunteering to help those illegal migrants, because you know what, guys, what's happening between Belarus and Finland border and Poland border, they would push illegal migrants from Belarus, right? Force them. I don't know what their deal was, but they would force them to get outside of Belarus to cross over to either Finland or Poland. And then when they get to the borders of the EU, Finland, Poland, they would be pushed back. Pushed back actually violently, isn't it? Remember we were talking about that? Bruises, right? Bruises.
Yes, there
And they were walking between forests. Imagine that, being pushed around in the winter season. It was winter.
Yes,
Winter season, being pushed around back and forth with nowhere to go. Our we were talking to this friend, German friend, because she has been volunteering for months now to send them food packages. But other than that, we couldn't do anything. We couldn't absorb them, right? No matter how much we want to offer our houses and just to absorb these migrants, we can't, because they can't cross the border. Isn't that a terrible thing?
Yes.
Right? And this was started by Belarus on that case, just as Gaddafi had threatened to flood migrants. So it can be exploited. So that's why the EU Parliament, a lot of the seats have been very skeptic to actually they want to close and tighten the migration policy so that these policies would not be exploited by people like this, Gaddafi and Lukashenko, these kind of things. All right, so those are the important things that we should know about migration and how the EU currently sees migration. All right, so that you would know, okay, am I a good fit to what's currently happening now? Because there are big things happening now in EU. As you can see, 13% to 28% are now getting concerned with the migration topic, and they should be talking about this more. All right. So in our case, with us and our applicants, all right, you have to see which side are you. All right. When you migrate, are you going to be a benefit? Is it going to be a fit for you? And of course, most of the time, actually, a majority of the time, Europe would definitely prefer golden visa investors, like people with help, right?
Yes.
Or entrepreneurs who want to start up businesses, who want to give jobs, and who else? Retirees, digital nomads, this kind of. Europe would prefer these set of people over, people who just want to come in and ask for jobs and everything. Yeah, as you saw there, right? Asking for jobs actually hurt the economy. Yeah, right. Migrants who ask for jobs to come in actually hurt the economy by dropping the salaries and the wages.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is the statistics were there, right? The one you mentioned there. So these are all factors that you should be thinking about. Where are you in the migration table, right? If you are a fit, all right, are you going to be a contributor or a burden, right? Because if you're on the burden side, we recommend that you probably think it over a bit more, all right, because it might fail later on, all right. And this is to educate everyone, all right. We don't really want to break anybody's spirit, but it's important to say and be truthful and honest, right? It's best to be honest than just come in and discover it yourself when it's too late already, right? So if you're a contributor, then JIP Migrate can help you start your process. If you think you'd be not too much contributing, then probably think it over a bit more and maybe step up your stats, or let's find another angle, all right? As long as, of course, you're willing to move, all right? If, as we always say, we only help people who are ready to move. So all of those should be helpful enough to you all to decide with an with an educated decision. And hopefully that was fun enough and not too deep not too deep to and to understand. All right. So anything that you want to add before we go?
I think that's all.
I think that's all. So want to migrate to Europe?
Contact JIP Migrate.
We enable possibilities for those who are ready to move. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast and see you on the next one.